We live in a modern age of unprecedented clarity and efficiency. We are surrounded by facts, data, and literal interpretations of reality. We have mastered the physical world, built towering structures, and connected the globe through networks of information. Yet, in our rush to master the outer world, we have become increasingly alienated from the inner one. We have forgotten how to speak the language of the soul. The fundamental problem identified by Jung is the literalization of existence. We treat everything as if it is only what it appears to be. We view the world through a utilitarian lens. A tree is just timber, a person is just a role, and a dream is just a brain flicker. By stripping our experiences of their symbolic depth, we have effectively stripped our lives of their meaning. We feel a gnawing existential hunger, a sense that something is missing even when we have achieved all the external markers of success. This detachment from the symbolic life leads to a profound psychological crisis. When we lose our connection to the symbols that once grounded human existence, we become susceptible to the collective madness of the day. Without a rich internal symbolic life to anchor us, we fall prey to ideological fervor, mass hysteria, and the shallow allure of consumerism. We look for answers in the wrong places, hoping that the next purchase, the next achievement, or the next political movement will finally fill the void. But the void is not a lack of things. It is a lack of connection to the unconscious. The unconscious is not merely a dark closet where we store our forgotten memories. It is the source of all creativity, all intuition, and all genuine growth. It speaks to us constantly, not in the language of logic, but in the language of symbols, images, myths, and dreams that contain the wisdom of the ages. When we ignore these messages, we are like travelers walking through a forest with a map in our pocket that we refuse to read. We remain lost, exhausted, and bewildered by our own paths. The task, then, is to learn the language again. The central thesis of Man and His Symbols is that the unconscious is a living, active force that constantly communicates with the conscious mind. It does so through symbols, those images that carry a weight far greater than their physical appearance. A symbol is not a sign. It does not point to one specific thing. It is a portal. It is a vessel that holds the energy of the unconscious and delivers it to our awareness. Jung identifies the collective unconscious as the primary theater for these symbols. While the personal unconscious is built of our own individual experiences, the collective unconscious is the shared heritage of humanity. It is the repository of the archetypes, universal patterns of behavior, themes, and motifs that recur across all cultures and all time periods. Whether in an ancient myth, a fairy tale, or a modern dream, the same symbols emerge: the hero's journey, the devouring mother, the wise old man, the battle between light and dark. Why do these symbols matter? Because they are the programs of human life. They are the structures upon which we build our sense of self. When you find yourself caught in a familiar pattern, say, a constant struggle to prove your worth, or a recurring fear of being trapped, you are witnessing an archetype in action. These symbols are the way the psyche tries to bring balance. They arrive when we have drifted too far from our center, attempting to push us back toward wholeness. Dreams are the most common venue for this symbolic communication. Jung suggests that a dream is not a puzzle to be solved, but a work of art to be experienced. It uses the language of metaphor to express things that our conscious mind cannot yet grasp. When we try to force a literal interpretation on a dream, we kill its meaning. Instead, we must ask, what is this image trying to illuminate? What energy is being released here? The symbol is the bridge. It connects the rational, linear mind with the irrational, circular nature of the unconscious. By engaging with these symbols, we begin to map the territory of our own souls. We learn that we are part of a larger story, a story that is not just our own, but the story of humanity itself. This realization is profoundly humbling and profoundly empowering. It takes the focus off our personal drama and places it in the context of the eternal human experience. We are not just individuals trying to get through the day. We are participants in the great unfolding mystery of consciousness. How do we apply the knowledge of symbols to our everyday lives? It begins with the cultivation of an active relationship with our inner world. We must stop being passive observers of our own lives and become active interpreters. First, practice the art of amplification. When a particular image, event, or dream sticks with you, do not rush to a dictionary of symbols to look it up. Instead, let the image live in your mind. Ask yourself, what does this image mean to me? What stories, memories, or feelings does it evoke? Connect it to the broader myths and stories you know. You are amplifying the symbol, drawing out its latent energy until it becomes a living part of your understanding. Second, engage in active imagination. This is one of Jung's most practical techniques. It involves entering a state of relaxed focus, similar to a meditative state, and allowing an image or a figure from your unconscious to speak to you. You might visualize a conversation with a part of yourself that feels stuck, or with an image that has appeared in your dreams. By giving the symbol a voice and engaging with it, you move from being a victim of your unconscious to being in a dialogue with it. Third, look for the symbols in your external world. Notice the motifs that keep appearing in your life. What movies are you drawn to? What themes emerge in your conversations? What symbols appear in your daily environment? Life is constantly offering us symbols that correspond to our internal growth. If you are struggling with a transition in your career, notice how your dreams might use images of doors, bridges, or storms. The external is a mirror for the internal. Finally, prioritize the symbolic over the literal. When a conflict arises, ask yourself, what is the symbolic meaning of this? What is this situation asking me to become? This shifts the focus from winning or losing to understanding and becoming. It transforms your problems into opportunities for growth. It turns your daily grind into a series of meaningful encounters with your own evolution. When you start to live this way, you notice a shift in your baseline. You become less reactive, less prone to the anxieties of the moment, and more centered in a deeper, more resilient truth. You realize that the idiots around you are just people caught in their own archetypal battles, and that you, too, are navigating your own. You develop a sense of compassion for yourself and others, seeing the human struggle for what it is, a beautiful, difficult, and profoundly significant effort to become whole. Man and His Symbols is ultimately a book about the necessity of return. We have traveled far into the realms of the rational and the objective, and now we must return to the center, where the light of consciousness meets the depths of the unconscious. This is the integration of the two worlds. We do not abandon the rational, we enrich it with the symbolic. The goal is not to escape the world, but to inhabit it more fully. When you understand the symbols that govern your life, you act with greater clarity, greater purpose, and greater courage. You are no longer pushed and pulled by forces you do not understand. You are the navigator of your own depth. The mystery of who you are is not something that will ever be fully solved. It is a mystery that will continue to unfold as long as you are alive. Embrace that mystery. Stop looking for the final, literal answer. Find the meaning in the search itself. The symbols are there, waiting to be read, in the patterns of your dreams, in the quiet moments of your reflection, and in the recurring themes of your life. You are the author of your own symbolic life. Every choice you make, every dream you honor, and every shadow you integrate is a brushstroke in the masterpiece of your soul. Do not settle for a life that is merely logical. Demand a life that is meaningful. Listen for the whispers. Watch for the signs. Honor the archetypes that walk alongside you. As you move forward, let the literal world be your stage, but let the symbolic world be your guide. Trust the images that rise from within. They are the language of your soul, and they are telling you exactly what you need to know to become the person you were meant to be. The journey is long, the territory is vast, but you have everything you need to navigate it. You are, and have always been, the master of your own depth.